Welcome back, everybody. Team Sasquatch. So thanks for watching our episodes, guys. This is the Crazy Sasquatch Show. We've covered 30 teams in our 2020 edition here of the NFL. Middle of July here. The training camp starts in a couple weeks, and then I don't know how many preseason games are going to have. 1, 2, or none, or we'll see. So we're trying to do all 32 teams before the season starts here. So we have 2 left. We have the Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. As you see on our whiteboard back here, guys, most of them are filled out because we've done the other 30 teams. We've already covered them. So go back, watch our other episodes. This is going to kind of go. Can't talk today, guys. This is going to go kind of quick because, like I said, we've already covered 30 teams out of the 32. So, talking about this division, the AFC South, as of today, Derrick Henry for the Titans just signed a 5-year, or was it 4-year? 4-year. Either 4-year or 5-year, $50 million deal. So, Titans, you just shoot up your running back for the next 4 or 5 years. So that's a good thing. Derrick Henry, I said, fantasy-wise, he's one of the top picks out there for running back, guys. Colts have got some good, decent running backs. Jaguars do too, so we'll get going with these guys. We'll get the Jags first on the board. So let's start with Jaguars. Foles is no longer in Jacksonville after signing their 1 year, or being there for 1 year. Got injured, only played a couple games. Minshew, looks like he did a well enough job to earn the rights to be the starter for 2020. Threw about 21 touchdowns last year in the 14 games he played. Not super great. Jacksonville was 6-10 last year. Offense was 20th. Defense 24th. You still got Fournette. I don't know how happy he is staying in Jacksonville. I see him staying there for the foreseeable future, but we'll see. You guys got Eifert there, so you got a pretty reliable tight end now. Wide receivers concern me a little bit. Conley, DJ Chark's pretty good. And Westbrook, not bad, not great, but, 3 okay wide receivers. Not Chark could probably be one if I had to draft one as a second wide receiver, probably the 4th or 5th rounds. If I needed a second wide receiver. None of these would be my number 1 pick for my number 1 wide receiver for my fantasy league team. Defensive-wise, guys, you lost A.J. Bouye, which is one of your top defenders. You gained a couple guys through free agency. You got Schobert and Melvin. I don't know how much they're going to shore up your defense. Your top 3 of your 4 first draft picks were defense. You guys had 12 draft picks this year. It's a sign of a young team building up. Didn't have that great of a year last year. Got a butt ton of draft picks, 12 of them, and I said your first 3 out of your 4 were defense. So you kind of see where you're hurting at. Here's defense. Being in this division with the Titans and Derrick Henry, the Texans got a decent offense. Colts are going to have a decent offense with Rivers and the running backs with Taylor and Mack. Jaguars, man, if you ain't got a solid defense this year, you got a bunch of young guys that don't have a lot of playing time because of the lack of preseason, lack of training camp. Might be a long learning curve this year, guys, for Jacksonville. Being a young defense against some of these teams in your division and some of the teams you're going to play. You kind of take a sneak peek back on the board. I didn't realize it was going to play out quite like this when I was going through all the teams. We got the last 2 teams here, and we filled them out, and I was like, ow, I got Jacksonville really hurting back here. So, Brett's got you winning a few more than I do, but we'll go ahead and do Jacksonville. Like I said, Minshew, 2nd-year quarterback. The wide receivers are young. Fournette's been around for a while. You have a young team with 12 draft picks, so might be a learning curve, kind of like a Miami type team this year of learning what you got and building up. But like I said, you got 3 other tough teams in your division, so we'll do Jaguars first here, then we'll move on to the Colts. So, being that it's the only 2 teams we have left, yes, guys, I got a pineapple Sasquatch shirt on. So, being it's only 2 teams left out of the 32, the only slots that are open is when they play each other. Everything else is already filled off. So, we'll kind of go through them. But like I said, please watch our other episodes, see what you think. Give us some comments. We'll go more in depth with these other teams on them other videos than we will right here. But I will touch base with them on each one a little bit. Indy, I like Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to bypass Mac probably by week 3 or 4 as the starter. Mac's good, don't get me wrong. Almost, I think he had 1,000 yards last year. Taylor's a little more versatile, I believe. Tough guy. The only reason he probably won't be starting the season is because of the lack of preseason, lack of training camp. It might take him 3 or 4 weeks to get the speed of the NFL, up to speed with that and the playbooks and stuff like that. But the 1-2 punch of Taylor and Mac, Phillip Rivers, we'll see how he does with a new team. He didn't really impress me a whole lot with the Chargers, with 2 pretty good wide receivers there, Melvin Gordon, and he just didn't show a lot last year. He's an older quarterback. We'll see how much he's got left in his tank. I think this year with the Colts is going to determine that. He falters with the Colts. Ouch. He might be done. He has a good year with the Colts. We'll see. But I think coming off first game of the season, I think Phillip Rivers is going to have to learn this playbook too. But you got so many young guys in Jacksonville. Indy, you got some young guys too, but you got a lot of veterans coming back. I know this is at Jacksonville. It's going to be a close game. Fournette versus Taylor and Mack, Minshew, Rivers, wide receivers. I think T.Y. Hilton's probably a little better than what Jacksonville has on their roster. DJ Shark's, up and coming. I think Indy's going to pull this one off. I think you got a veteran quarterback that can pick apart this younger defense. So, sorry Jacksonville, right off the bat. I really hate doing this, but you got a tough season coming up.
Every position on Jacksonville's team, so it's Indy going to Jacksonville, but every player on the Jaguars is worse than each position on the Colts. I just don't see Jacksonville winning this at all. Maybe I think it was 2 years ago, Jacksonville was a top 3 defense. I think they were the first best defense in 2017 or 18. But now they lost their 2 best defensive players, a defensive end and a cornerback, and they're not going to be good this year. They have a good quarterback, but I still think they would win this.
All right, guys. We'll touch on these real quick. Tennessee, I don't think Jacksonville can stop Derrick Henry. Miami, we're split on, which could be a very close game. A couple young up-and-coming teams, a lot of draft picks. Cincinnati, by week 4, Burrows, Green, Mixon. I think this team's will be coming along. Houston's going to have a very tough offense where I don't think Jacksonville can stop. Detroit is a well-rounded team, veteran quarterback. Going to have a pretty decent defense this year. Much needed bye week. You got the Chargers. This one I think can go either way. I give them the loss being it's at the Chargers. That's the only reason I think I give them the loss, because it's at the Chargers. Houston, like I said, offense, too much. Green Bay, I think, is too much of a team, just overall with defense and offense. Pittsburgh with Roethlisberger, Juju, Connor, and that tough defense, top 5 defense there in Pittsburgh, too much to handle. Cleveland, I think with Beckham back from his abdominal injury, Mayfield, the running backs you have there, I think Cleveland's a little too much. Plus you got a decent defense there. Minnesota, another well-rounded team on defense and offense. Tennessee with Henry. Baltimore, playoff caliber team. I got Chicago as a playoff caliber team this year. I think their defense is good. They got a choice to make between Foles and Trubisky, but otherwise, I think Chicago's going to surprise some people this year. And so we get to week 17 already with Indy. If you look at Indy a little bit, guys, they may be fighting for a playoff berth here. Jacksonville, I know you don't want to go, to me, totally without a win. You got to be fighting for a win here, but dang, with this schedule, guys, Tennessee, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Minnesota, I mean, you guys got some playoff caliber teams in here, and you're, I said, ranked offense and defensively both in the 20s. It's going to be a tough year. Indy, I think, to be fighting for a playoff berth. They're going to want to win this one pretty dang badly. I don't know at this point in time if you make a trade at running back. If Fournette's not happy there, and you're going to go this type of record, you may start trading for some draft picks. You may start trading around to get an unhappy running back out of there and get somebody who wants to be there. So Jacksonville at this point in time may be doing some trading. We'll see. Saying that, guys, sorry. I think Indy wants this game to try to make the playoffs.
At Indy, same with up here. I just don't see Jacksonville winning this. Even by this time, if they get the best free agents in free agency, they get Antonio Brown, they get all these good players out of free agency. Which that's 1 in like a million, 1 in a billion chance they'll do that. I still don't think I don't think they're gonna win this at all. There's not a good enough football team.
Go ahead and do mine too. So, being as the last team, guys, we can talk about the Colts a little bit. You can see their record, but I'll let those down too if you want. But we'll jump ahead here a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 and 8 also, don't I?
3, 4, 5, 6,
4, 5.
7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 and 8. So Colts, guys, like we were saying, you got Phillip Rivers, you got Mac back. Mac's been in his offense. Jonathan Taylor's going to be the X factor. I think he's going to be your running back of the future, with Mac being your third down back. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have some big stats, be a good player. To me, Jonathan Taylor, if he's there on the board, second or third round, I'm going to pick him up as my second running back if he's there. Doyle, to me, is that dark horse. Phillip Rivers, you think about all his years with the Chargers, Antonio Gates, even last year with Hunter, I can't remember the last name, but anyway, Phillip Rivers has always liked throwing to tight ends. He's always relied on his tight ends. Doyle didn't have that great of a year last year. I think Phillip Rivers likes his tight ends. If Doyle's around, after the Kelce's, after the big name tight ends get picked, Doyle might be that sneaky pick you guys get in on your fantasy league because of Phillip Rivers and his, liking to throw to tight ends. I thought Burton went to Colts. I couldn't find it in the magazine we're working on here. That I thought when the Bears released Burton, I thought he went to the Colts. I didn't see that, but if he went there and he's going to be healthy, it might be a Burton and Doyle that Phillip Rivers is throwing to. We'll see. T.Y. Hilton, good wide receiver. Pittman's going to be a rookie. Drafted him over in the first round over Jonathan Taylor. I think it's going to take a little while to learn routes and stuff like that, being the year the way it is. So Pittman may take a little while to come on. He's going to be a decent wide receiver, but I think it's going to take him a little while to learn the speed of the game in the playbook. And you got Campbell. So right now, early in the season, I could see maybe the wide receivers being a little bit of hindrance to the Colts. Later on, might be okay. Colts' defense. You lost Vinatieri, guys, so the first time in a long time you don't have your go-to kicker. But you guys got Xavier Rhodes as well as DeForest Buckner from San Fran. You already had a 16th ranked defense. You added those two guys. Granted, you lost Pierre Desir. So you lost one guy on defense, but you gained Xavier Rhodes and Buckner, two good guys on defense, and you were already ranked 16th. I think Colts going to have a decent defense. Probably not a top 10, but it's going to be a decent defense, guys. With Rivers, if he can show what he can do and not what he's been doing the last year or so, the pair of running backs you got with the wide receivers, might be a surprising year for the Colts. You got the Titans and the Texans in your division, though. It's going to be a battle each game you play there. So, with saying that, we'll go over these real quick. If Brett's got anything to say, he can jump in on any of these. Jacksonville, we kind of picked over here. We got you winning against Minnesota. This could go either way. Brett says no. I got the Colts winning because your running game. I think who's the running back for Minnesota?
Cook.
Devin Cook is holding out for a better contract. That's the reason we picked. I think here is because if Delvin Cook is not playing because he's holding out, Colts are going to win this. So I don't know what's going to happen with Devin Cook in the next month or so. But if he's not playing, guys, Minnesota lost Diggs. Granted, you got a good one in the draft, a good wide receiver in the draft. But early in the season, I think if things are not going well with the players because of holdouts, new players, rookies, I think that's what happens here. Jets, I just don't think you're up to par yet with the Colts. Chicago, we got a loss here. I think Chicago's defense can stop the running game, and Philip Rivers isn't that mobile. I think you got Mack and some of the guys rushing the quarterback. Might throw Rivers off a little bit. Cleveland we're split on. Cincinnati we're split on. Much needed bye week. Still looking pretty good in the season though. Detroit we're split on. So you see, Colts could be in a lot of games, but it's gonna be close ones, guys. Baltimore playoff caliber team. I think between their defense and offense. Sorry, Colts. Tennessee. I think it's going to be a close one. It could be a close one, but it's at Tennessee. Derrick Henry. I don't think he can stop him quite yet. He might be surprised. This could be a closer game than what we think here. We're both giving a win over Green Bay. To me, this one could go either way, too. Brett, don't think so?
If it was at Green Bay, they would win.
If it was at Green Bay, he's saying this could be changed. I kind of agree with that. I think this could be a close, hard-fought game. A couple veteran quarterbacks, some veteran wide receivers. I think Colts going to edge this one out somehow or other. Tennessee, we're split on. Houston, and Raiders, we both agree will be losses. I think each a couple tougher teams, good running games, good overall teams. But back home, you beat Houston. Pittsburgh, if Roethlisberger can stay healthy, is it his last year? I don't know. If he's healthy with Juju Smith-Schuster and their wide receiver core, Connors, especially that defense. Pittsburgh could be a scary one. And then we have Jacksonville. And I think the Colts need to win this one. This is a must-win for the Colts to get with Tennessee and Texas. Do you remember what we picked? I didn't write down yesterday's overall records for the Colts or for the Titans and the Texans. Do you remember?
I think you had the Titans winning 13-3.
So I think we have I had the Texans winning this division. But anyway, it's going to be a close one between Texans, Titans, and Colts. Sorry guys, I didn't write down yesterday's stats for the Titans and the Texans, what we picked. I think Brett was like 13-3 on one of them. I was like almost 500 on the other one. I think the Colts will be right in this. I think we're giving Texans, right? Or do you pick Tennessee to be better?
Tennessee.
So Brett's got Tennessee winning this division. I think I had the Texans winning this division. But I think the Colts will be right there with them. It might be a win or loss difference for a wild card berth for the Colts versus the Texans or the Titans. Yeah, Jaguars. I think you're out. But Texans, Titans, Colts are all going to be right there. We differ on who's going to win the division. Titans, Texans, Colts, 8-8. If Titans are 8-8 or Texans are 8-8, or I say it's going to be close. But this is going to be a tough division, guys, between three teams. Thanks for watching the last 32 teams or episodes we've done. We're going to do a playoff one. I don't know if we'll do it tomorrow or soon, but we're going to look at our records, write down who we think is going to be in the playoffs, who's got the bye weeks, and we're going to predict the playoffs, guys. And here in July, we're going to predict the playoffs, see how close we come. Some of the teams we know are going to be there. I'm pretty sure New Orleans, Baltimore, Kansas City. There's teams that are going to be there. And there could be someone's going to sneak in. Some of these 8-8 teams be kind of sneaky. So we're going to try to do our best. We're going to do a playoff scenario on our next episode. And we'll have best teams and my teams. And then see our Super Bowl predictors. And we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been 32 teams for the 2020 season and what we think they're going to do. And next episode, playoff predictions of who we think is going to be in there, who's going to win the Super Bowl for 2020 if everything plays out right and we don't have a season canceled or anything like that due to this COVID thing. So hopefully we have a normal football season. So anyway, guys, here's the NFL 2020 season. See you in the playoffs.